How's it going, everyone? I've been asked to do a video on the incubator that we have here. This is a homemade one from a large drink cooling cabinet which was being chucked out. So what we did, we ripped out the cooling side of it at the bottom, still left the fan in the back, as you can probably hear. It's still working, and obviously we've wired that up. Okay, what I've done, obviously in the UK we work on Celsius, not Fahrenheit, but I've been taught the American way, so I work in Fahrenheit rather than Celsius. So how I chose to do this setup, and the reason why I chose to do a glass fronted drinks cabinet or drinks cooler or fridge, was simply because cheap, they work really well, because obviously they've got to keep the drinks cool. So obviously on the flip side of things, you're going to keep everything nice and warm or up to temperature within there, so that's going to work fantastic. And again, with the glass you can obviously see what's going on. What I did, I've used what's called a microclimate prime, which I find really work well, hold the temperatures fantastic. So I've got that hooked up to the incubator. Obviously I made this myself. As you can see at the back, I haven't gone for heat mats, I've actually gone for heat cables. And the reason why I went for heat cable is because, long story short, it was long enough and big enough for it to fit in the incubator, and it works fantastic. So again guys, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Okay. Went on eBay and brought some thermometers, digital thermometers. As you can see there, what I managed to do, or what I did, I put one at the top, one in the middle, and one at the bottom. The reason why I've done that, obviously digital thermometers can vary in specification. Some of them work really well, some of them can be all over the place, but I tried to get 3 of the same make, so that they weren't going to be too far out. Again guys, you know, they're only there as a guideline, not as an accurate sort of reading. They're just there to sort of, you know, give you a fair idea of what's going on inside the incubator. The prime, or the thermostat, is obviously what you really go off. So what I did was, the one at the bottom, on the bottom shelf, as you can see, the probe is in the middle, okay, on the shelf. Underneath the shelf there we have bottles of warm water. They act as a radiator, so if you open the door to go inside the incubator and then you shut it, because the bottles work like a radiator, it doesn't take that long to get back up to temperature. Okay, so that's why there's bottles of water, and that's what I'd advise to use if you can. As you can see, bottles of water aren't touching the heat cables, and obviously you've got them 2 shelf set up there. Okay, and obviously all I do with the incubator regarding the egg boxes, I just stack them on top. I can get about 12 boxes in here, so it's not too bad. And obviously because we have eggs all through the season, you know, as I'm pulling one clutch out, I'm putting another one in, so at the minute we're not getting stocked up or too stockpiled and struggling for room. So going back to the digital thermometers, as I was saying, you put one at the bottom. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can see that, it's running at 89.4. okay, then we put one in the middle, which is where the thermometer, the digital stat is running, which is hanging in the middle of the incubator. That says on there it's running 89.2. The one at the bottom again is 89.4, and the one at the top here is running 88.9, as you can see. So there's not too much of a bad variance. As you can see, the one at the top is run at the top, again as close as I could get it to the middle. Again guys, you want to try and get, you know, the thermometers into roughly the same place as best as possible, to try and give you again a good average reading. Okay guys, again, an average reading, that's what you're looking for. Okay, the prime, you can see is running at 89 degrees, which is what it's set at, and the middle is 89. So again, it just gives you an average idea of, from top to bottom, of what your incubator's running. I don't have any problems with the eggs at the back of the tubs being dried out compared to the ones at the front or anything like that. Because of the way I set up my incubator boxes, I have no problems with any sort of lack of water or eggs drying up or anything like that. I have no problems. I can't tell you what the humidity is in there because I don't gauge off the humidity. I should, if I was going to hazard a guess, I'd say it'd be around about 60%. I don't use any form of digital thermometers or hydrometers in the actual egg boxes. Again guys, I'll be honest with you, I feel if you have too much or too many gauges reading too many things, I think you end up stressing and worrying and pulling eggs out and doing this and doing that. Guys, in the wild, they vary in temperatures, they vary in humidity. Obviously when the snake's on top, it's been known that the eggs in the middle of the clutches go up to about 91 degrees. And obviously the humidity factor changes again from whether the eggs are on the outside of the pile compared to the inside of the pile. You've got to think a bit logically guys and think, well, if I'm in the middle, if you're squashed in the middle, well, it's going to get warmer and it's going to be more humid. So you've got to think a bit, a bit logical in that sense. So that's the incubator in a nutshell really. It's nothing major, it works fantastic. I'd advise anyone, obviously if you've got the money, go out and buy a professional setup. But if you haven't got the money and you do want to give it I'm a bit of a DIY freak, so I don't mind having a go at anything myself. Obviously guys, if you're going to set one up yourself, you want to try it, use it, get it set up well in advance, see how well it's holding your temperatures. I mean, the other good thing as well, if I can just try and show you, sorry guys, I'm doing this all one-handed. The prime can basically, if I just show you, okay, that wide channel, which is the yellow channel, which is the probe that's in there, is actually running at 19.5% or 20%. That's how much power it's kicking into that into the actual heat rope or heat cable. So, and again, we've got it set on dimming, not on off. We've got it set on dimming. You can either have it on dimming, pulse, or on off. I personal preference prefer dimming, and that's exactly what it's on. So it will obviously increase or decrease. If I open the incubator, you see the doors open. We'll just let a bit of air escape. It's nothing major. Okay, so obviously we've took the eggs out or we've put a clutch in, whichever. Now you should start to see that ramp up a little bit. See if I can get this in better. There you go. As you can see, it's starting to ramp up the power output. And if we go down to the temperature, as you can see, it's dropped down to about 88, and all of a sudden, because it's ramped up the power, it's starting to obviously ramp up the temperature in there. So it will slowly start. It doesn't put a mass amount of power through, it just slowly brings it back up to temperature, which I feel is awesome, which is exactly what you want. So try a quick recap. Try and keep your sensor probes in the middle, whether it be at the bottom, at the top, or in the middle of the actual incubator. Try and keep them there. That one in the middle there, as you can see, is just dangling, so obviously the egg boxes will fill up around there, and that works brilliantly. Again guys, what the other thing you've got to stop and think as well, sorry I keep flipping backwards and forwards, but just stuff keeps coming to mind. The more egg boxes you put in there, the more eggs, obviously the warmer it's going to get in there. So your stat won't be up so high, it won't kick in so much and all that sort of stuff. So you know, you've got to bear that in mind. Again guys, please set, if you're going to do an incubator like this, set it up, I'd say a good month ahead before you're due to get eggs. Run it and see how you get on. Okay. Again, if you open it up and we look inside, we have there was some little holes here for obviously the shelves. So I just put some insulation tape, which is the silver foil tape, along the sides, just to stop any heat escaping, just in case. And again, the seal on this unit is fantastic. So I have no problems, or I haven't had any problems with any sort of insects getting into it, or I know there's big problems sometimes in different areas with fruit flies and all that sort of stuff, but I haven't had that problem. So quick back to the recap. If you're going to get 3 digital thermometers, get them of the same brand, fit them in the same place regarding, you know, where you're going to put your sensor probes. My advice would be to put the probe for your thermostat that's controlling the heat in the middle of the incubator. It's important, I feel, to have a fan, because that fan draws the hot air from the top, pushes it down the back. As you can see at the back, there's like a sort of a cover which comes forward. That pushes all that air down the bottom. You can't really see it, but it pushes it out the bottom, and obviously it's going to rotate and circulate the air from top to bottom, and it'll push the warm air up, and it just keeps it a real nice even temperature. So if you're going to build one of these guys, I would seriously advise a fan. Some people have made them without fans, and again, if that works for you guys, it works. For me, I like the fan thing because I just find I get an even temperature across the board. Okay guys, please feel free to ask any questions. I hope I haven't missed anything out. This incubator probably cost me, I don't know, probably not including the thermostat, it probably cost me around about £80 to make, which is cheap as chips. The stat, I'd advise getting a real good stat that holds temperature really well, that you can rely on. That cost me around about £90. So, but guys, again, if you've got the money for a professional setup, obviously go for a professional one. But if you do want to have a go building one yourself, have a go, and like I said, try not to set it up at the last minute. Okay guys, any questions? If I've missed anything out and you want to know anything else, please don't hesitate to put them in the comment boxes below. Okay guys, thanks for watching.